We are now at the final stages with respect to construction, and the last step is to join this lower crossbar. Now, we could have done that by placing a rail between the two front turn legs, but these interfere with your ankles when you're sitting on the chair, so we decided to move this to between these two 6-degree rails. Now, you might think this is a bit complicated since it's set at a 6-degree angle. However, Dowelmax is designed to drill perpendicularly or at right angles to whatever face, so it's drilling at right angles to this 6-degree face and at right angles to this other face. So the whole assembly will come together in alignment. Now, I started off by dry fitting the entire chair assembly to set it up properly. And you should always use 50% of the required dowels for dry fitting, because sometimes it gets really difficult when you're trying to get it apart. So I've had to use all the dowels, but you should actually use approximately 50% of these, or even less. Now, once you've dry fitted it, you should ensure that everything is absolutely square, because and I used the set square against the backrest and measured to the tip here on both sides, and it should be perfect, but if it's not, you have to adjust to get it absolutely in line. Now, what way we start here is we find the center of this rail, come out 3/4 of an inch, because this is approximately 1.5 inches, so we come out 3/4 of an inch and draw a vertical line. Now, we work out the distance from here to the vertical line and do exactly the same on this side, do another vertical line. Now, what we want to do is get this rail in the center of these two rails. So our original setting was 6 degrees, so I used the table saw sled to create this 6-degree angle. Now, the 6 degree might not be perfect, so we have to be careful here. To start with, I left this slightly longer, and I brought this up, did the 6-degree angle, brought it to the line. Now, when this angle is perfect and we're at the line, we should intersect exactly at that other line. If we don't, we have to adjust this angle here until we intersect that other vertical line, and once you've done that, you know everything is spot on. So once that's determined, we use the same angle that was used here to cut this, and eventually we should, when this is positioned, come up against these two vertical lines like that. Now, you'll notice that this is 7/8 thick, so we can't really drill it. We could drill almost into the 3/4 of it, but we want to bring it back a wee bit. So I adjust the drill settings to 5/8 into this face and 7/8 into that, this spar here, which prevents you cutting the dowels. Now, the 7/8, I use these jigs for setup. This is a quick way of setting up the 7/8. Just align it to the center line here. It comes right down the hole, and you set your collar. It's a quick way of doing it, and you do the same with the 5/8 for the shorter setting. Now, once that's done, you want the spar to be in the center of this rail here. So this is 1.5 inches. So remember the rule, 1.5 inches divided by 2 is 3/4, take off 3/8, you're left with 3/8. So we have to install a 3/8 spacer between the reference plate and the reference block. This will now center exactly within thousandths of an inch. So now we place the reference markers on the top here, so we align to the reference mark on the plate. Leave that on there. Now we bring Dowelmax to the vertical line, tighten the clamp screws and drill 1 and 2. Now we could take the whole assembly apart to do this, but it's not absolutely necessary. So once that one's complete, then we'll rotate it 180 degrees, bring the block up to the middle of the other line, clamp Dowelmax firmly, and then we use the shorter drill to drill 1 and 2. Now these will be aligned perfectly. Now we need to, already completed the holes on this side, so we'll now drill the holes on the opposite side. And as you'll notice, it's on the 6-degree angle. Now this is 7/8. Half that, 7/16, less 3/8 is 1/16, so we put a 16th or 2/16 washers in between the reference plate and the reference block. This will center you exactly on the 7/8. Now I use a small washer to align. We need the deeper drill. This one is set to the 7/8 setting. And this whole assembly will be perfectly aligned with the two vertical marks.